Hi there, it's Guido from Absolvo. Today I want to look a little bit into the question, what can I do when the itching starts? The most painful experience of neurodermatitis is to go through another episode of itching and scratching. It's so extreme, it's such an extreme experience that nobody that has never had it can ever understand. The short answer is there's nothing you can do. As long as it happens, it's happening. And it's very powerful and you can't stop it. But the long answer is yes, you can do something about it. You can first have a better understanding about the pattern, react differently, and learn to calm your mind. The whole itch-scratch cycle, or the whole experience of neurodermatitis, at its core is a thought pattern. It's a pattern of being lost in a dark place of total despair and confusion. It's like going to a place of horror, of a place that's very dangerous, and that gives you the ultimate experience of fear and being lost. And the resulting fear is so intense that it affects your skin and puts you into a survival mode. You literally fight for your survival. And it's all happening in your mind and seems to be out of your control and power. But in reality, you're creating it with your thoughts, and your thoughts aggravate the nervous system, your skin, and you hold everything in you to the maximum. And so the irritated skin of neurodermatitis is a symptom and not the cause of your suffering. It pushes you beyond your limits. So the next time it happens, you can try to see the thought pattern that is behind the attack. And just knowing the fact that it's actually a thought pattern might make a difference for you. And the next thing you can do is, when the itching starts, you can try to react differently. And typically the whole pattern goes like this. So you have an aura, you know the skin is going to itch within the next couple of minutes, and then it starts. And then you're trying to figure out, but you don't have an answer. You're trying to figure out how to get out of it, how to not start, and how to make it go away. And since we don't have an answer, you begin to disapprove, you resist, then you lose control and you scratch, and eventually you feel somehow satisfied and you feel a temporary relief until it happens again. And one of the biggest aspects about what's happening is trying to figure out. And we always expect from our mind to have a solution. And in the case of neurodermatitis, it's impossible for the mind to have a solution because the mind is actually the problem, is actually creating it. And what people don't know is that the mind is like Google. It's like a big database. And if you search Google for information, it will tell you. Your search did not match any documents, but your mind never tells you. So you keep asking and asking and asking and looking for answers. And since you never find anything, your mind gets even more agitated. And one of the most uncomfortable thoughts for the mind is to not know. And when that happens, we automatically tend to disapprove. It's an automatic behavior. It's like in school, when they ask you for a question and you don't know it, you don't have it, automatically you put yourself down, you doubt yourself, you put yourself into a negative mood, and that's disapproving. And the typical thoughts are not again, I can't take it anymore, I hate this. How can I change this? I hate my skin. And those are the thoughts, part of the thought pattern that actually create the itching and the suffering. And the more you resist, the more you fight, the more you agitate your mind, and the greater your suffering is going to be. And it's like holding in mind what you don't want, and as long as you hold in mind what you don't want, that's exactly what you get. I know it sounds impossible to not disapprove and not resist, but I'm just giving you the facts, and disapproving of the situation is like putting oil on fire. Even if it's very, very painful, it's still a fact. And change comes from trying to stop changing what happens, but having more understanding, being a neutral observer, and patience. And another thing what's always very, very amazing, people that participate in my program, in the Ending Neurodermatitis program, they sometimes call me doing an itch scratch episode, and in the beginning their mind is so agitated and full of thoughts that they're very confused, they feel lost, and after a few minutes, typically, the mind, there's less thinking, they can see more clearly, and the mind becomes quiet. And the moment the mind is quiet, the agitation goes away, a lot of the pain goes away, and they feel a shift. And it's always really amazing to see when people can see, yes, it's when the more agitated the mind, the more I'm suffering. And just to be clear, those suggestions here are not a quick fix. So don't expect a change from just listening or reading what I have to say. But the important thing is to get some more understanding, because that's the key. That's the key to understanding neurodermatitis, is the key. What is actually creating it, and that it is just a thought in your mind. So thank you very much.